Hello, konnichiwa, hola, hola everyone, welcome to the stream. Hi, my name is Leo, I'm your resident demi-vampire singer and professional simp, and today we are continuing, probably, hopefully, I think, finishing Lake of Voices. Let me just adjust the game real quick, because I think it's a little bit big. I guess I have no way of properly telling until I started. Hold on. There we go. I think that should be good-ish. Yeah. Anyway, so today we're gonna jump right into it because I've done some research. There's a lot of endings, a lot of options. And I want to get through them today for reasons that I'll explain either later today or maybe in some other stream. But so this time I'm gonna, like, last night I did some research and I did a couple of tests here in the game. There are a lot of endings. Apparently I'm missing like 11 achievements on Steam. That doesn't mean that they're all the endings, because some endings are just like, oh, Kika falls and dies, the end. Like a bunch that I've gotten at this point. And apparently each of the characters, I don't know about the guide, but at least when it comes to Bemele, Margaret, and Lou, they're all like romanceable. They all have like a romantic-ish ending. And I've gotten none of those. I tried yesterday and I ended up in a new route, but at the same time it didn't end up being in any like a romantic ending. It ended up being the same ending that I had already gotten before. It's just like the progression of the route went differently. But yep. So I have pulled up a guide to help me in case I need it in order to like be able to get everything today. And for now, what I want to do is actually try to save Lou, which is a character that we've met a bunch of times during the bridge. Is the redhead we come across at some point, but that we end up always leaving behind because of my decisions. This time around, we're gonna try to help him and see what happens, because we have like the guide threatening us that he's not gonna help us if we help Lou. So we're gonna load this save file that I did earlier. If I put a hand to stop him, is how we get to him. So the other thing that I don't remember is the context of it, because I just saved and and went with it. So we started from here, not the very beginning. So yeah, that's Lou. I'm on my way now. The man's voice is full of something I cannot place, and he starts to shuffle back and down the way we came. Arms still clenched around himself. Margaret might not be able to take him, but there's another way this could be solved. I could stay back with him. It'll put Bemele and myself at significantly more risk, but at least this man will stand a chance. So we put our hand on his shoulder to stop him from leaving. I straighten my arm out like a rod, looking his progress past me. He stops, perplexed.
I am not afraid to stay behind, as long as Bemele can remain up front with you in your light.
True, because we still have a light. It's still the first night. So it makes sense. Why do I always accidentally click the right click button? Anyway, the guy doesn't say anything. The guy doesn't say anything. Doesn't even blink. Margaret covers her mouth with her hand, muffling some sort of gasp. Bemele smiles sadly.
One can always count on you, Kika.
The man, meanwhile, stands with his mouth agape, truly and genuinely shocked.
Well, what will it be?
Margaret spurs for a second, searching for words, but clearly unaware of what to say. Bemele chimes in before she can get anything audible out.
I can stay in between you and the guide. I don't need to be right next to either of you. That way you won't have to worry about a repeat of what happened earlier.
Oh yeah, when he was behind us, right.
I wouldn't refuse you being here.
The guy doesn't acknowledge them. He stares at the stranger. The man shakes under the attention.
No, really. I could just go on my own. It's fine.
Come on, Luz, shut up and just follow us. I step closer to him, lending the support he seems to desperately need.
You do not need to go this alone. I will protect you.
The man stares at me. I return his gaze, willing him to see me. Certainty. To see my certainty. Yeah, that's why it didn't make sense in my head. There need be no blood spilled tonight. Knowing my luck, there will be. Slowly, the fear melts off his face, replaced with something like resignation. Then he drops his gaze to the floor.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I grasp his shoulder and turn to the rest of the room.
You should get a head start, correct? You'll have to put some distance between us.
No! No, we don't have to do that!
Yes, we do.
Oh my god. I was gonna say, why is Margaret on our side all of a sudden? But I don't remember if at this point we've already formed like sort of bond. I don't think so. But the guide is, as always, is like, no, we are gonna do things my way. And my way means keeping me safe. The rest of you, I don't care. Unnervingly, there's a hint of an emotion in the guide's usually empty voice. Anger. He starts to walk, not waiting for a reply. Margaret grits her teeth, eyes filling with tears, face flushed. She mumbles something in a small voice, something I'm just near enough to hear.
Why am I always so powerless?
Well, let me tell you, girl, in other routes, you're like very badass. Because you managed to survive the ridge on your own. And the route that I told you guys that I went on last night, well, while I was trying to like see how we get like different endings. She and I made a whole trip, and she was very resourceful, so she is not powerless at all. She may seem like it, and I will admit that at first I was like, no, she would be the first one to die, because in most cases, well, not most cases, in some of the decisions she is, but really Bemele is the one that always ends up like in life-threatening situations because of his carelessness, in the sense of like he's very impulsive. That's not necessarily always a bad thing, but of course more often than not in this it gets him killed, so that's why he can die very early on. Anyway, the statement catches me somewhat off guard. Margaret powerless? She's not a mercenary, to be sure, but she seems so certain of herself. Then again, I don't know the reason she needs to cross this lake. Me neither. She still hasn't told us. I would very much like to know. Before I can decide whether I should respond, the tears fade from her eyes. Margaret takes a deep breath.
Please be careful.
It's so weird looking at you with your glasses. She takes a few steps back, lingering near enough for Bemele. Bemele smiles. First at the stranger, and then at me.
Take care back here, alright? We'll all be together again when we reach the halfway island.
Oh, be true. That is
It won't
true.
be too
Maybe
much
Lou
longer
is a Lulu? Maybe. Oh, I still don't know yet. The only thing we know about him is that he's like, no, please, leave me behind. I will only be a burden to you. And right now we're not taking that. We're taking him with us. So we'll see how that pans out. Also, hi, Confused. Welcome. Get back here, right? We'll be together again when we reach a halfway island. It won't be much longer now.
We'll have a nice little camp out, and you can properly introduce yourself to us. Maybe even tell a real joke or two.
The man emits a nervous little laugh and ducks his head. The prospect must not be enticing to him. With the stranger having pulled himself out of the conversation, Bemele looks seriously at me.
I'm sorry to put you in even more.
Stop.
Bemele shakes his head, still smiling.
I don't begrudge you at all. In fact, I'm glad you did. All I want is for you to remember that goal. Each of us, together, on the island, and then on the other shore, safe. This isn't about what our job is, or where other people need us to be.
I mean, wasn't that the whole point the entire time? And that's why we were like, oh, we need to get there as fast as possible. Oh my god, we can't take long. So this is actually unique dialogue we never had before. Yes, because all the previous times, I would never stop to save Lou, to be like, hey, come with us. All the previous times, I always left him behind and on his own, and that's why he always dies. So we don't really know Lou, because I never stopped to like actually have him join our party. I've always let him go wander on his own for the safety of the other two, but we know how that went. The only time I've been able to get both Bemele and Margaret to like survive was last night when I was trying things. The ending at the end of the day is not very different from the others, where either Margaret or Bemele live, I guess. But the route changes in the fact that it's the one where we decide to like throw the lantern and we end up without any light, and so the guide makes us choose like, hey, you're gonna come with me or you're all being left in the dark. And then when you tell him this time like, hey, no, I want someone else to go with you, he actually sort of allows it. Instead of like last time how he was like, there's no point, you need to come with me. And so you get to choose to either give him Bemele or Margaret. If you choose to let Margaret go with him, then you and Bemele die at the end. Like there's no other really option. They just stay together, and then at a point when you're trying to cross the bridge, you find a lot of prowlers and they kill you because you have no source of light. But if you go with Margaret, if you tell Bemele go with the guide and stay with Margaret, you and Margaret end up being like a very good team, and she's very resourceful and make it to the other side. Just think like in that route where you go on your own with the guide, and then at the end Margaret comes, is the same, but now instead of just Margaret, it's you and Margaret, and then on the other side is the guide and Bemele. That's all the difference really. But other than that, like everything is pretty much the same in that route. But like I was saying earlier, I found out that there apparently there are like romance-ish endings for all three of them, for Bemele, Lou, and Margaret, and so I want to get those, but I just don't know how, which is why I have a guide pulled up for when that time comes. For now, I want to go like blind through Lou's route, or his appearance in our lives, I guess, and then I'll take the guides. So Bemele is just too stupid to live on his own. Yeah, pretty much. That's why I was like, oh my god, all this time I thought, no, Margaret is too weak, she can't, like I love her to death, but she will probably die first. And no, it was ended on the princess needing saving ended up being Bemele all along. My theory is that Lou must die to keep the other two alive, because the guide said someone will have to die. Yeah, he did say that from the very beginning-ish. But and the game always tells you, like, supposedly, like, you can't save everyone. There's always like your choices are what's going to determine whether who lives or who dies. And so I do think that in order to like, and even I guess it would depend, but I do have the same impression that he probably needs to die in order for Bemele and Margaret to survive. But even then, when he's not around, that's not a guarantee, because we've seen time and time again how I end up getting one or the other killed. So yeah. And we also have yet to explore a route where Margaret dies very early on, and then it's just Bemele and I, and we kind of explored that last time with Margaret, but we ended up dying anyway. And I know I had more choices, but I don't remember very much about it. Anyway, Bemele opens his mouth, then closes it. He swallows hard.
You two.
I'm surprised to hear his voice wavering slightly. He swallows again, then continues.
You two should look out for each other.
Yep. We will, don't worry. Or I'll try at the very least. He takes a few steps back, as if to go, but his eyes don't leave mine.
Watch out for yourself, too. Not just for everyone else.
I will.
Sure, yeah, Kikika does that, of course. Yeah. The guide's figure disappears, with only his lantern to lead the way. Bemele and Margaret are finally forced to leave us behind and catch up with him. I watch them disappear into the fog, an odd feeling in the pit of my stomach. I cannot recall the last time I had difficulty seeing someone leave.
You should go after them.
I start. I almost forgot the man was there, standing right next to me. Now he looks at me with desperate eyes.
You don't need to do this.
What?
I'd rather know you return to them safe.
Oh my god. We just made this whole decision. We can't just be like, okay, never mind. I just left him back there. He's fine. Now you're stuck with me, dude. You had to say so. Like, I know you were always like, no, it's okay. I don't know what. But if you really don't want to be saved, then just go. Just go. Don't like go at a pace where I can stop you. Just leave completely. Then maybe the romance route only two from the start. Maybe. I mean, I've tried. And that didn't work. So far, I haven't been able to get it. So that's why I had to pull up a guide. Because I'm like, I'm trying this and that, but nothing works. Like, nothing changes other than the path. So, who knows? Okay.
The way they acted. Having to go on without you. No one would feel that way for me. I'm not worth it.
I am eating an American cheeseburger right now and it is way too sweet. Why does it have more sugar than actual candy? I don't know what kind of candy you're eating that has less sugar, but I think it really depends on the place and who makes it, because I don't remember having a burger that it's sweet, an American burger specifically, because a lot of places sell quote-unquote American burgers, but sweet, unless it's like maybe one of the dressings that is making it sweet, it shouldn't really be.
That's not...
I stop, unable to say the last word. Can I claim that he's wrong? This is the one thing he has seems sure of, and I don't know him. Empty platitudes may be worse than nothing at all. He smirks at my mumbling reply. I'm caught off guard by the change. With only that, it seems he's in his element.
It's true.
He continues to grin, more so to himself than me.
You lot certainly made a scene, huh? That's nice. Being loved and all.
Oh my god, he's the type of character that I don't like. I regret saving him now. He clarifies after I must have given him an undesired reaction to the statement. I am so disconnected with myself, I am unsure if surprise appeared on my face or if it was a lack of emotion that put him off.
I don't know exactly what kind of love it is you share, but there has to be a bond in that group of yours.
What does it have more sugar? It's just the bread that tastes sugary. Normally bread has zero sugar taste. Then it's probably the way the bread was made. That the bread being sweet, I can actually like understand. Not because it's like good or bad, but because there are certain types of buns that they make sweeter for some reason. But yeah, it could also be like they soaked it in something and that's why it's sweet. Sometimes they also do that. So I don't know. But sweeter than candy? I don't think so. Unless they... depends on what you define as a lot of sugar. Lou could also be immune to prowlers. Would be interesting. I mean, we don't know how he got this far by himself without any light. So there's... that could work as a theory. The only counterpoint that I would have to that is the fact that he never survives in the other routes when he's on his own. So there has to be like a downside to it if he's actually immune to prowlers. But he has pinkish hair. What isn't there to love? He's not pinkish hair, it's a redhead. And his attitude is something that I'm not willing to put up with. Like, oh no, but at least you are love. I don't know what love is. I haven't felt the kiss of the morning sun in such a long time. Woo me. But there has to be a bond in the group of yours. He laughs and then speaks quietly. It doesn't matter.
I can still try for the other shore. Go.
Shut up. I already made a gamble to take you with me, and now I'm gonna stick to that, and you're gonna have to deal with it. Yes. I will stay. My certainty shocks him. I can tell immediately he has returned to his meeker self. The man starts to speak again, but I interrupt.
We should start walking. That should be enough of a head start for them.
He hesitates a moment, but ultimately begins walking at my side. I'm relieved. I can never be quite sure what will come from this one. We move in silence. The man doesn't want to speak anymore, but he keeps glancing at me, as if expecting something. Somehow, his odd behavior is comforting rather than disconcerting. Perhaps because he's more nervous about all this than I am. It's putting me at ease, making me feel more capable. I shouldn't allow myself to get comfortable, however. We're in a more dangerous position than ever. The whispering from the lake, so faint after Remeli's close call, now surges forth. It grows nigh unbearable, the creatures teeming below the surface. I dare not speculate on what has them so excited.
Have you a name?
but you leave him behind. How do you know he actually died? Because the guide has to give like a report on the happenings during each like at the end of each trip, and he reports that that Lou very much died every time. Like even when, for example, Margaret dies or Bemeli, and he makes the report, he's like, oh yeah, he mentioned that Bemeli died or that Margaret died, and now we know the name of the nameless man, who is Lou, or apparently his name was Lou, and it has been sadly reported that he also died during the night, like he didn't survive. That's why we know that he dies. So at the end, like you get like a sort of report from the guide on what happened on the bridges, and he reports that Lou dies every time. Have you a name? The man chuckles dryly.
Barely.
I don't really know what I am to take from that.
Me neither. I don't get him. This time his laugh is more of a bark, quickly out and swallowed back up. Then he frowns.
Lou. Only 2 letters. So barely.
I see.
You're not funny, my man.
What are you doing out here without the guide?
I accidentally, like, I grabbed my bottle of water because I was getting thirsty, and then the cap just flew away. It wasn't like properly closed, so the cap just like flew past me. There we go. Sorry. What are you doing out here without a guide? Perhaps the question isn't appropriate to ask. After all, only the darkest of circumstances spurs someone to cross in-laws. But the situation is very strange. I might even go so far as to say it is suspicious. It does seem very suspicious, I will say that. So far, I don't really have any inclination to like trust him, nor like him. I know that's not fair, but I can't help it. Years spent anticipating danger have made me wary.
That's a good question. I'm not sure I know myself.
What does that mean? Is that some sort of joke too? Or do you genuinely not remember how you arrived where you are?
No, it wasn't a joke. Or, well, there is a point to it all.
Then his voice, already by nature light and airy, drops to a whisper.
But I don't know why I even tried. You'd think that I'd be able to call a spade already, right?
He looks up, noticing my gaze still leveled at him. Then he shrugs.
I'd rather not talk about it.
As what has become the norm, I don't fully understand what he means, but I can at least guess that he's not very happy with himself at present. And like it or not, he won't be sharing his real reasons with me.
What about you? What brings you out on this little adventure?
He has my memory. Is Lou your persona now?
People. On the other side. People who need my help.
You have someone waiting on you? Then why are you risking yourself?
Oh my god, stop making it about yourself. I feel my brows furrow from my speck of alarm. Is that really what he took from this? I survey his face with a flick of my eyes, but there is no mischievous gleam to his look now. He's serious. We hold eye contact for a moment until he yet again stares down at the ground.
Sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. It just fell out somehow. I wasn't
Yeah, you
thinking.
clearly don't think often. Oh god. I don't like the implications of me being like, no, you are important as well. Wait, no, I want to save over this one. Yes. There we go. You're important as well. His stare shoots back up at me, eyes wide.
Of course I'm going to be there for those counting on me. But you aren't nothing. I won't simply turn my back.
By the
on
way,
you.
how's the volume? I know sometimes the audio with the voices tends to be a little bit low. So please let me know if it's good or if it needs adjusting. Sorry. Oh. There we go. Don't. He smiled sadly, the kind of smile only someone who has experienced great hardship has. A smile I'm too familiar with.
I probably have to disagree. Still, that's nice of you to say.
We may not know each other well, but you wanted us to go on without you for our own safety. You even tried to have a sense of humor about it. That counts for something.
Emphasis on tried, because he doesn't really know how to make jokes. The statement is far from grand, yet he becomes distinctly bashful all of a sudden, twitching his legs with each step. He bangs his head and mumbles his next phrase. Sadly, he seems unaccustomed to receiving praise.
That's true. Thank you for staying back with me. It's kind of nice.
Fine.
No need to thank me.
Oh, right. I can't even show gratitude correctly.
Oh,
of course.
My God, I gotta give him a look, but he's smiling. He looks less pitiful than usual. He almost seems content. While crossing his in-laws? How? Why?
It is not funny to make a joke out of thinking that way about yourself.
Voices are roughly the same as you, so I think that is perfect. Okay.
If you don't want people to say things like that, then you shouldn't reject their thanks. Either I did right by thanking you, or I did wrong.
Fine. You're welcome.
This time he lets out a real laugh, though a short one.
I'm glad.
He stretches his arms out in front of him and elongates his strides, so he's walking a bit ahead of me. He sits wrong with me. He's relaxed and completely unguarded. He's even fine with distancing himself from the light, and all the odd comments he's said so far. Then a thought strikes me. Maybe the reason he's so calm is that he doesn't care what happens to him? My heart plummets into my gut. I mean, yeah, he was willing to go by himself without any light, so, you know. For a time, there is relative peace in the silence between us. Then Lou sighs heavily.
I never could have seen myself in a situation like this. It seems things really aren't over until they're over.
Did you think it was over?
He doesn't answer immediately. When he does, the reply is accompanied by him grasping himself, like he might fall apart if he let go.
Yeah, I did.
That would have been the normal outcome for the situation. Alone, lightless, I shouldn't have asked. I must have left a frown slip through, because Lou smiles a non-smile. He stretches his hand behind his neck and gives a little chuckle.
Something really is wrong with me. Somehow, I feel lighter.
Alright. Well, maybe this is good. If he's feeling better than he was, then perhaps his view on himself will improve.
I wonder who'll still be left standing when this is truly all over.
I wonder too. What?
Everyone will be.
I say it firmly to end the discussion, but Lou's expression grows grave and unusually sympathetic.
You know that's not possible, don't you? Someone will go. You should focus on making sure it's someone else.
You don't seem to be concerned with self-preservation.
I don't like his voice. Is there something good about him? So far, it doesn't seem like there's much to say from Blue. He has muscle, so he probably knows how to fight, maybe. That came out more hostile than I had expected. He doesn't mind it.
True, but it's not the same for me.
I still don't know how I'm supposed to interact with a person like him. Making conversation is already not a strength I possess. Regardless, Lou echoing that sentiment was not something I had expected. The whispers from the lake, which had already grown, now speak faster and clearer. The individual words are almost audible. I'd likely be able to make them out if I knew the next language. For a split second I wish I did. The light in the distance still drifts along in the same manner as it did when we first started walking, which I take to mean the path hasn't turned so far. Hopefully, that means we're still on the right path. But the light, it got brighter? It's strong enough that I have to glance away for a second, and then next time I look, the light has grown. The bridge is on fire. Oh, they're burning the bridge again. I grabbed Lou's arm without thinking. He's standing there stiff, staring at the glow, eyes dull.
We're going to run.
To hell with the guide's order. If we don't go now, we will never go anywhere again. Lou doesn't respond. I give his arm a small tug and he appears to come to himself when he nods at me. I make the decision, then, that I won't let go of his arm. I don't know what'll happen to him if I do. We take off, the heat growing with each step. The darkness of the bridge means the fire is spreading slowly, but it makes me question how it began in the first place. There is no end to how wrong this place is. It takes 20 paces before the air around us ripples, then starts folding into itself. Thick smoke pours over us, stinging like scorpions at my eyes. I cover my mouth with my free arm to keep breathing, and soon we are at the fire itself. The bridge lurches beneath us, as if the beams supporting it are starting to give way to keep the thousands of flying sparks. Lou stumbles and pulls against me for support, but we keep our ground. I start pulling him to the blaze. We don't have time to gather our bearings. Who knows how long we have until the bridge collapses or is devoured by flames. As we push through the smoke, Lou, wheezing for breath beside me, figures emerge, Pamela and Margaret. Ooh! UCG. I look at the two, and the situation around me. Baffled. None of the individual pieces make any sense, until the reality of it hits me all at once. The guide is gone. Margaret paused at the bridge. Her lantern is at her side. It's her glasses she's missing. Pamela is up to the other side, lanternless, with only the flickering embers in the wind to keep them out of the darkness. I want to pretend that they're both fine, that they'll be capable of handling themselves, but I know that's just wishful thinking. Both of them are in danger. I don't know how the Nixie feel about fire, how daring they'll be to get so close by, but I can't assume this is an opportunity they would want to miss. I have to do something, and I have to do it now. Hold on, let me just, save. Go to Bameli's side. I waste not a moment more, rushing to Bameli, Lou in tow. Hold on guys, give me a minute. I need to check something real quick. I'll be your bee. I am back. Everything is in order, and I took advantage of me having to leave my chair and took a blanket because I am freezing. Hello, Milky Way. Welcome. Anyway, let us continue. I waste not a moment more, rushing to Bemele, Lou in tow. Bemele and I have arrived here together. We agreed to see it through to the end. We promise to protect each other. I have to be there for him. When I reach his side and illuminate his face with my lantern, he's beaming. I'm sure some part of him thought that when we parted, it might have been for good.
It's a relief to see you. Both of you.
Then there's a scream. Margaret is gonna die. Margaret is nowhere to be seen. The light of her lantern is gone. She's trapped in the darkness.
Margaret?
Did she move? Did she fall? Did the bridge collapse?
Kika!
Wait, you were dying of heat not too long ago. How are you freezing? Because it has been raining for the entirety of the past week. Or 2 weeks at this point. Yeah, 2 weeks. And so the temperature has dropped. Just wanted to say hi before I leave for lunch. Thank you. Have a good lunch. And it is now lower temperature, but because of the humidity, it makes it colder. So that's why I'm cold. So I went to grab a blanket. Yee. Alright, Margaret's dying apparently. I hear her and turn in her direction. There, through the smoke, I see her looking up at me. She's trying to stand, but she's struggling for some reason. Then, I see a gleam of white on slick black behind her and understand why.
Run!
Nyx grabs hold of Margaret's dress just as she gets to her feet. It pulls. She slams back to the ground, head hitting the bridge, with a sickening thought. Oh! Margaret runs and starts to yell.
Let go of me! Let go!
She's flailing, kicking her legs and arms. She's disoriented. She doesn't know where it's coming from. The Nyx yanks her again. Another grabs hold, and she feels it tug enough to grab onto the portion of her dress and tear it. She's trying to rip it off. I run to her side, my light finally illuminating her form. Seeing the light spill onto her, the Nyx retreat back into the water, but they don't let go of it. Oh. They don't let go of her dress. Margaret screams, being dragged across the bridge. She digs her nails into the wood to stop herself, hands bleeding. Oh, but each soggy hold she finds slips through her grasp. I reach out my hand to her. Margaret looks at me, kicking it with her leg. She doesn't even try to reach for me. She knows it's not going to fix this. Then she disappears. There's a quiet splash.
No!
This has been the most gruesome way for her to die. Oh my goodness. What? I'm guessing that if I had chosen her, Bemele would have died similarly, so... Dang. I rush to the edge of the bridge, searching the water for some sign of her, but there's nothing. Nothing but the placid black sheen of the lake. They took her down with the rest of them. This was way more brutal than needed. Tears burn my eyes.
I'm sorry, Margaret. None of this should have happened.
Welp. Then a warm hand clasps my shoulder. Bemele. He smiles through a pained expression. I stare at him and can barely keep myself together.
What happened to the guide? Is he also?
My voice cracks in spite of it myself. I don't know what I want to hear. I don't know that I want to hear the answer, but it has to be said.
No, that man's still slinking around this hell on Earth. The bridge jerked, Margaret's glasses fell off, and the guide kept going. I stayed, but I kept my distance in case...
He looks away.
In case there was a repeat of last time. I shouldn't have stayed so far off.
It's not your fault. I could have thrown my lantern or gone to her sooner or anything.
Kika.
I'm furious with myself. It's her fault Margaret was put in danger in the first place. Margaret didn't get to choose whether Lou came either. I made that call. She was so kind to us, and yet the choice had to be made, and I threw her to the side. But Melly seems to have read my mind and comforts me over thoughts I leave unsaid.
Listen to me. We tried. You never gave up on anyone. Not for a second.
Oh my god. The unexpected has happened, chat. My dear Snowbats, the unexpected has happened. I'm feeling something for this man. I don't know why. Maybe it's the drama adding up to my to like my experience. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Oh my god. The window was rattling because it suddenly a very strong gust of wind passed by. I got jump scared for a second there. New lore? What kind of new lore? Yeah, that was my window rattling, like the glass because of the wind. Anyway, I don't know what you mean by new lore, but I kind of like, I've always liked him as a character, but now I'm feeling something, and it's weird. I don't know. The bridge trembles underneath us once more. I gather what wits I have at my disposal.
We need to leave.
Yeah, I was gonna
Which
say,
way
like,
did the guide go?
the thing is still burning, so we need to like hurry.
I don't know for sure, though he went off in that direction. The fog overtook him, but I didn't see him turn.
That will work.
Yeah,
Lou?
we just... Lou, where are you now? I look around for him, realizing he's not with me any longer. At some point, I let go of his arm. He's standing to the side, gaze glazed, transfixed on the darkness. He seems completely unaware of everything that's happened. The fire, the Nixie, the death. I step forward and yank him back to my
What
side.
are you doing?
He flinches at the unexpected contact and looks attentively at me, but he doesn't offer an
I'm
explanation.
sorry.
That's all he ever says. I let go of him.
Both of you stay close. We are not going to separate again.
Oh man, we keep down the path, the flames still gradually gnawing on the planks behind us. The guy doesn't turn up, nor do any signs of him, but we push on. We will not stop moving. Then we do. The bridge comes to a dead end. Oh, of rodent outboards collapse into the lake. For a moment our breathing stops at once. If this was the way that led to the island, then... I flick back to face the others, my expression unaffected. I'm not going to allow panic to sap this group of judgment.
Let's look for another bridge.
I resolutely begin retracing our path. The others follow without protest. Our regression is silent except for our footfalls and the snapping of soggy wood attempting to burn. We frequently have to step over smoldering sections trying to come alight. At one point we even have to walk one at a time, sideways, to avoid a wildly flickering small fire billowing out black smoke. Just as my spirit is beginning to dim, we come across different directions to take. Among all the forks, there are only two that are collapsed or too consumed by fire to risk following.
We're going to have to pick one.
Nah, don't make me choose! Lou's gaze is looking down either path. There's a palpable sense of anxiety coming from him.
I don't know.
It's alright.
And of course I have to make the decision. But it's not alright. We have to have something to go off of. Anything at all. A cold sweat trickles its way down my back. Before anyone tries to randomly choose, a noise catches my attention. I hastily address the two.
Did you hear that?
A whistle.
It came from the right.
Okay, let's go. I didn't have to choose. Lou and I trade looks. This could be the signal we need, but what if it
Do
isn't?
those monsters know how to whistle?
I don't know. It seems unlikely. The air isn't pleasant
Yeah,
to them.
true.
They're underwater creatures.
We should go right, I think. To where the sound came from.
Alright, the only sensible thing you've said all night. I'm a little surprised Lou is offering his own opinion. It's good to hear, however. I take a deep breath. I take a gulp of water and almost choke on it.
I agree. There's more of a chance the whistle was a sign for good over ill.
Sorry, I almost choked. Our course decided, we move as one down the right path, no longer hesitating. As we follow the bridge down, there is no sign of the end. There is no need to debate between directions again. We start to outspace the fire, one danger thankfully fading away. But the night continues to lighting, regardless. Yeah, I was gonna say, I can see the sunlight from the horizon, and that's not a good sign because that means the bridge is gonna start to sink. I glance at the sky and realize what's happening. The sun is rising. The bridges will sink into the water as the darkness disappears and take us with them. We'll be lost. It suddenly seems pointless. We don't even know where... Sorry. We don't even know whether we've gone the right way, and we still haven't caught up to the guide. We can't outswim the Nixie, and we can't outrun the dawn. We're going to run out of time. Yet, we keep moving forward. And finally, our perseverance is rewarded. The silhouette of an island rises on the distance. The island grows rapidly larger, and soon the scents of earth and trees reach us. In spite of all the horrors of this night, a dock emerges from the fog before us, welcoming us to safety. Hello, Enki! Welcome! We reach the shore. I don't believe it until I step off the wood and my boot sinks into the sand. Oh my god, bye Enki, I guess. I walk further inland like a corpse, my sole instinct to flee from the waterline. My hazy eyes single in on something ahead. The guide stands on an outcropping in the distance, watching like a sentinel. He doesn't even come to greet us. I stare at him for a moment, not even able to feel alarm at my own lack of feelings about the situation. He uses his staff to gesture to the forest behind him once before disappearing between the trees. I can only assume that he must be asking me to follow.
Did he even notice?
Yeah, he did. Calm down, Bemeli. Bemeli's biting whisper doesn't continue beyond that, but it doesn't have to. If the guides notice something is missing, that they have been taken, someone, not something. Bemeli stalks off, clutching his fists. I can't blame him, but I don't share his anger. I still feel hollow. I fall after Bemeli, and Lou does the same. The guide takes us further inland, more towards the center. There's a view of the coastline from here, but we're also partially obscured by a few trees.
It's time to sleep.
No one has the energy to argue with him at this moment. I find the place as comfortable as one could ask for in a location like this. The next one of the trees further out and lay down, trying to block out my thoughts. For once, exhaustion is my ally, and I slip off into sleep. My eyes slowly blink open and readjusting to the brightness. What little there is. The sun is obscured by a thick layer of fog, making it impossible to estimate the time of day. I prop up my elbows and push myself up. The ground is hard and rocky, but that isn't the only reason why I'm eager to get on my feet. I check my surroundings. The harsh, craggy earth of the island is interlaced with twisting vines and gnarled branches. Beside me, Bemeli and Lou are still fast asleep. The guide, however, is nowhere to be seen. I realize that I don't recall seeing him lay down with everyone. It's likely he left hours ago. There is a creeping silence here. I can't help but shudder at the hollow, aching feeling inside of me. It refuses to relent. I shift my weight back and forth, unsure of what to do with myself. Memories of last night's harrowing journey flicker through my mind. Bemeli wakes suddenly, racing with alarm and startling Lou awake as well. My mouth opens, then shuts, and after a moment of fumbling, a word finally escapes.
Hello.
Bemeli gives me a gentle smile and makes his way over to me. Behind him, Lou remains on the ground.
Morning.
A pocket of quiet descends over us. Bemeli sighs. The atmosphere is weighing on him already.
We should eat something soon. I don't trust
Yeah,
what is
we're
on
in
this
the island. So like on the
so
trip.
I'll have to split my supplies with Lou.
Hold on. The trip is divided in like 2 different parts. So the first one is from the shore, the starting shore, I guess, to the island, and then the second part is from the island to the end, the other territory, I guess, to put it in a way. And so this is always like the middle point where we get to rest during the day because morning comes. So yeah, that's why we are back on the island.
I still have a few rations left.
Oh,
I'd be
because
happy
Lou
to
doesn't have
contribute.
things we have to share with him,
Don't worry
right?
about me. I'm fine. I'm not hungry.
Oh my god, Lou. Lou's back is turned against us. He still hasn't gotten up off the
You
dirt.
should eat. You have to keep your energy up for the day ahead.
Bemele speaks encouragingly, like he's coaxing a nervous horse. Lou buries his head deep into his knees, and he curls into a tighter
No
ball.
thanks.
Bemele lets slip a small chuckle.
Well, it seems I've lost my role as the childish one around here.
Oh my god. True. True. So true. I look at Bemele and smile weakly at him. However, he's not frowning hard. He's now frowning hard. I understand. Lou doesn't know what he speaks of, and the only one who would isn't here. A distinct rustling of the leaves around catches my attention. The guide appears, emerging from the thicket. Bemele glares at him, and as he makes his way over. Lou doesn't seem to notice, and he's still facing away.
The Nixie will not tread on land in daylight. However,
Alright, I think
being
we
near
can skip
before the sun sets, I will be in this area.
Why didn't you stay with us?
I sharply turn towards Bemele as he snarls and confronts the guide.
If you had just been there, none of this would have happened. She didn't have to die.
The guide stands unflinching and completely unaffected.
If all you're going to do is leave everyone to be lost, then why bother guiding us at all?
Sure, Bemele, that's gonna get us killed. Despite Bemele's severe words, the guide apparently considers his piece here finished. He turns towards the forest and area from which he came.
Wait!
Bemele calls out to the guide, reaching towards him. Before he can make contact, I quickly place a hand on his shoulder. We've seen this conversation before, though.
Bemele, I know you're angry, but regardless of our feelings, we need the guide. If he leaves us, we'll
We all die.
We've done
Indeed.
so well with him.
I give him a cold glance. We won't even know which bridge to take without the guide. Bemele knows that. This needs to stop. There are people counting on us to make it back. And what of Lou?
We can't afford to lose our way.
The anger etched into his expression fades into sadness.
You're right, Kika. You're right.
He weakly swats his hand in front of his face, as if he's trying to shoo away his racing thoughts.
I can't stay here right now.
And then he leaves. I nod, allowing him to leave alone. Lou meekly calls out to me. I turn around to face him, though I don't speak. He's standing some distance away. He fidgets and glances over to the side before returning his gaze to my eyes. He gestures for me to come closer. Sorry guys, I'm just very sleepy. I didn't get a proper sleep last night. And so I'm like having a hard time reading. Oh god. He fidgets and glances over to the side before returning his gaze to my eyes. He gestures for me to come closer. Hello, Tyler. I'm good. I was just telling you guys that I'm a little bit tired, so I'm having trouble reading, but I am pushing through. I comply. He begins to whisper at me, but he fumbles with his words and I can't make out anything he says. I look at him inquisitively. Finally, he speaks enough. He speaks up enough to be clear.
I'm sorry for what happened last night.
He speaks weakly as he looks up at me, eyes filled with sorrow. He shifts his focus onwards.
You would have been better off without me.
It's not your fault.
I mean, like, it is not his fault. But it is true that we would have been better off without him, because so far nothing but tragedy has happened while he's been around. So that sucks. I hope you managed to sleep better tonight, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Never seen this character before. Who is he? What did I miss? Exactly. So this is Lou. He is, I don't know if you remember how on our first playthrough, we encountered a character that was alone on the bridges without any light, and we had the option to either leave him behind or be like, hey, I'll be going in the back with him, you guys go on ahead, in order to, like, quote unquote save him. That is him. Every time I've played this game, I always left him behind because I wanted to find a way to protect both Margaret and Bemele. So that's why we had never, like, properly seen him before, or at least we had never had him as a proper part of our sorry, as a part of our party. So that's why this is that's why this is like a first time seeing him properly. But now unfortunately Margaret died, so it's only him and Bemele in our party alongside us. So yeah, my words come out hollow and empty. I mean what I say, but cannot find the energy to make it seem convincing.
It was closer to being my fault than anyone else's. I wasn't supposed to be here, and all I did was get in the way. The guide was right about me.
And he apparently has very low self-esteem and thinks very low of himself. And I don't like that he is always taking like self-pity, but we tolerate him so far. Okay.
I never should have stayed.
Finishing his thought, he sniffles as he turns away. Suddenly, I feel a strong surge of emotions rape through me. Everything is falling apart and I do not have the power to change this. Quietly I speak. Lou, wait, I need to be alone. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Who do I choose? I am going to... yes. And then load, because probably ran out of time already, right? Yeah. Load. This one, yes. It's a roach, welcome. We've already done I need to be alone. And I need to speak with a guide, which is basically the same as I need to be alone. So yeah, look, wait seems like the best option. Lou stops moving. He doesn't turn to face me. So Bemele is no longer an option when he is here, it seems like. Which is interesting to me. Also, poor Margaret, can you not save them all? So far, I haven't been successful. The most I've been able to manage is like have Margaret and Bemele survive at the end, but unfortunately that's also like the routes where we leave Lou behind. Lou sounds so funny as a name. Anyway, sadly that's also been like the routes where we leave Lou behind. So far I haven't been able to like see any possible future of the... I don't remember how many Doctor Strange says in the movie, but but you know, we haven't found that one yet. We're going through the loop until we get there. We have a roach infestation, but Lou doesn't matter, he's crazy. So far he hasn't been like a very likable character, but we'll see how he evolves. Too many possibilities, yeah. I hesitate as well, also unsure of how to proceed.
Would you be willing to speak with me?
He turns around to face me and his eyes are brimming with tears. He smiles
I
lightly.
could do that.
I find the will to smile lightly back at him. Lou walks closer to me, then he pauses. After watching me for a moment, he turns his eyes to the ground, waiting for me to do something. I just stare at him, unsure. After a brief silence, I finally sigh.
Lou, can I ask you a difficult question?
Oh no, difficult questions. He flinches.
I don't think I'm the person you want to ask difficult questions.
Just answer the goddamn question!
No one else can answer this one. It's about you.
Oh, in that case, I'm really not the kind of person to give good answers.
By his tone, it seems like he's trying to make light of the situation, but to me it just still sounds sad.
I understand.
He squeezes his eyes shut and gives no reply. Despite being clearly frustrated, it doesn't look like it's me he's upset with. Soon, he reopens his eyes, looking directly at me.
You can ask me anything. I'll try to answer.
Alright.
But I hope you have a lot of patience.
I don't have that. I am sleep deprived. I don't have patience. He smiles lightly. Hello, Alice. Don't worry. Thank you for stopping by. Or, well, more like welcome. The thank you for stopping by sounds like a goodbye, so sorry. That's not it. It's like, welcome. Don't worry.
Thank you.
So, what do you want to know?
Have you lost someone in the lake?
Hold on, let me open the door for my doggo. He wants to be let outside. I'll be our... Like, I'm still here. I'm just gonna open the door. What? I am back out my foot. I am entirely new to your channel in this game, but I will hopefully fill in the gaps with context clues. No worries. Thank you for being here, Aki. A quick summary that I can give you is that we are a protagonist, or our protagonist is Kika, the woman right there in the left corner, and we are traveling alongside our partner, fellow knight named Bemele, and we're crossing a river called Sinlos, for which we need a guide to guide us through it during the nights, because it's infested with monsters. Like, the water around the bridge is infested with monsters called prowlers, or the Nixie, and their only weakness is light, so we always need to have a source of light with us in order to survive. And along the way we meet two other characters aside from the guide and Bemele, who are Margaret and Lou. And right now we're trying to navigate through Lou's route, because each character is kind of a route in itself in some way. And so right now we're trying to figure out what Lou is all about, because we've never had him in our party before. So yeah. And unfortunately Margaret died recently. And so aside from that, what we're doing right now is trying to get like every route possible, or every ending possible. So yeah, that's like a quick summary of the game. But yeah, thank you for stopping by and being here. Have you lost someone in the lake? Lou stumbles back a step from shock.
I'm sorry for prying, but when we found you, it seemed like you were apologizing to someone. And the way you've acted since makes me think that something is wrong.
I mean, true. I
Something
completely
beyond
forgot about that,
even
but
being
true.
out on Sinlos.
And based on the jokes he's made, he's also talked about his own father and like him not being very nice to him. That's all we really know about Lou. I give him a sympathetic look. Why am I even asking him this question? Do I really want to help him, or am I trying to forget what happened to us by talking about someone else's misfortune? When Lou speaks, his voice is barely above a whisper.
I hate myself. I can't do anything.
Well, my guy, you and a lot of people do.
You don't have to say anymore. I was wrong to ask you about it.
His brows are furrowed, and he smiles in a self-deprecating way.
I'm sorry.
Lou laughs sharply at himself.
Don't be. I'm not worth the concern.
Okay, sure.
How can you say that? What have you done that was wrong in this moment? It was only my mistake.
You think that because you don't know?
But you don't
I
tell
do
me,
not
so I
believe you.
cannot know. In any case, if you really want me to believe you're a worthless piece of human being, then you need to tell me what supposedly you did that was so terrible that I have to think this way. But again, I'm not gonna do what you tell me to do. I'm gonna think whatever I want. Because I'm me, and I can form my own opinions. Those eyes were into mine.
I'm not upset because I lost someone out here. I'm upset because I can't bring myself to lie about it.
What do you mean?
What?
You gave me the perfect opportunity to cover up the pathetic truth of what actually happened. All I had to do was go along with your assumption.
So what happened
But
then?
when you're so direct, I can't keep my thoughts hidden. I'm too afraid of making a mistake and having the lie uncovered somehow.
What do you mean? He stares back at the ground and sighs.
Why do I have to be so terrible at this?
But if you don't tell me what's going on, then I don't know what. You need to tell me what's going on, my dude. Bewilderment rings through my mind, one ear to the other. His words stir all sorts of baffling jumbled emotions in me that battle it out for supremacy as I gawk. Louis, I don't know. Hold on, guys. Let me go check on something real quick. BRB. I'm not gonna put the BRB screen. I'm just gonna be there, silently looking down. There I am again. I am alive. I am breathing. Oh, okay, one stop now. I am here. It was just my dog knocking on my door because he wanted to be let in. Again. Connor will appear if you mention Palace Cats. Unfortunately, Con was taken away by the Void because he works night shifts now, I think, so. Yup. Why a cult? I don't know. They keep calling me a cult. Don't listen to them. It's fine. We're not. I only take your kneecaps in exchange. But that's pretty much it. But other than that, we're not really a cult. It's fine. Don't worry about them. We miss him. I miss a capital K in your name. My apologies. I'm reading chat, by the way. I'm not sure I trust Lou, but he seems to be shy and timid like me, so that is my own red flag. To chanting. What kind of, like, I don't know any chants, like, something like that. It's the only kind of chanting I know. That is basically a cult. Is it? You don't really make offerings, I just take them. So is it really a cult? I don't know. I don't know how cults work, so I'm not sure I trust my own red flag. No, it's not a red flag being like timid and shy. What I don't like is that he wants to deflect everything with self-deprecation. You mean like, oh no, woe is me. There's no other piece of human garbage than like worse than me, and all of that. And I don't know, it's like the way he speaks about himself. It's not just that it's self-deprecating, but at the same time it's self-pitying, and that's something that I don't know why it always gets on my nerves in a way. When it's done in a very specific way, like Louis is doing right here. I don't know why. That's just a me thing. That doesn't mean that there's necessarily anything wrong with you. In general, people, it just triggers me for some reason that I'm like, oh yeah, sure, just answer the question. Just stop trying to make this about yourself. We're trying all to survive here, and I saved you because I wanted to, not because, oh no, please, I'm not worth it. Why would you do this? And if you're feeling really bad about it, then just tell me what's going on. You know what I mean? And that's just me. He needs some loving. Oh yeah, like he said something about like, oh, you must really be loved. I wouldn't know what it is. Like he didn't say with my exact words, but he basically was like, I wouldn't know anything about being loved. Oh my god. And I was like, alright dude. Alright my dude. Stop. If what you're looking for me is being like, oh, my poor child, I'm so sorry, please come here, I will love you instead, you're not gonna get that from me. At least Lou. I'm talking about Lou. Would we still stick around while you cause suffering? I think that's basically a cult. Dislikes when you spend money. An Aka color for an offering. Oh, an Aka Supa is like a lot, so I understand that you wouldn't have that money. It's fine, don't worry. Oh no, but there's so much going on. I don't even know where to begin. Shouldn't even look my way. I'm such I'm such a disaster. How could you care about someone like me? Oh my god, no. Like that is the thing that like Anyway. We don't know who Lou is. Let us continue. Without looking up, Lou shakes his head.
See? You shouldn't waste your sympathies on someone like me.
See what I mean?
You should have
Look at him.
Die.
That's the kind of thing that I'm like, okay, my guy, it didn't happen. We are in a very dire situation. Get over yourself. He seems desperate for a hug. I like how Tyler is the sympathetic one here. I love it. Snowbat group hug. I think I know why it triggers me. I got like, oh, sorry, hold on. Shh. I am back. Dogo was just excited. He wanted to play, but I can't play right now with him. Anyway, yeah, I was saying, I got reminded why. I was dating someone once, and he liked being manipulative like this. That's why it just like when we were like mocking this guy. Like, I'm sorry for ruining your life. Oh my god. It reminded me of something like that, and I was like, oh, that's why. But yeah. New lore. I've had 2 relationships in my entire life, and that was a long time ago. So it's not like I currently, you know. Yeah, that one didn't last very long. So it like I immediately saw after, I think even less than a month, I saw the red flag and I was like, you know what? Nope, we're good. I'm not doing this. Leo dates human blood now. Exactly. Anyway, let us continue, shall we? Okay, no, please. Like a shot, my anger flares up. Yeah, Kika, get him! Tell him!
Pull yourself together. I didn't leave you behind before, and I'm not going to do so now.
Thank you,
The
Kika.
best
Thank
thing you
you.
can do to help is put those kinds of thoughts in the back of your mind.
Or what? I won't make it to the other side?
Yeah, you sure don't care, but now because I saved you and someone died on your behalf, you're gonna have to.
If I thought joining you was a way to stay alive, I would have acted much differently. The only reason I came along is because I thought it might be nice to not die alone and forgotten.
My words spur and die on my tongue. Luke continues his speech, ignoring my
The
reaction.
guy really didn't know what he was saying before. I asked him if I could go out on the bridges in the past. He told me not to. Said I couldn't handle it. I'm not sorry for ignoring the warning. This was something I had to do. This was my only chance to prove I'm not worthless. Or to finally accept that I was, once and for all. And we know what the truth is.
Because you gave up. Anyway. I also met a person like that. They hurt you more than they're hurting. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately there's people like that. That sometimes it is genuinely out of like a very low self-esteem, and I understand it. Like, it's very hard to love yourself sometimes. But there is a line, I feel like, where you either keep it to yourself or actually try to work on it, because pulling it out like this in front of other people is just not healthy nor good for anybody involved, nor you nor the other person, I feel like. So I don't know, but there are also people who just do it like on purpose in order to make you feel guilty and be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, please don't say those things, and get pity from you and be like, oh yeah, and have you like on a chokehold like that. So yeah.
Stop.
You can no longer keep Italy listening to him speak.
It doesn't have to be this way. You said yourself that it isn't over until it's completely over. There's still a possibility that...
No, there isn't.
My blood pounds in my veins. Instinctively, I place both hands on his tightly wrapped upper arms.
I don't know what has happened to you, but if there's something you need to do, you can try again tomorrow night. You don't need to give up. You have value.
Luke closes his eyes again and smiles to himself. I maintain my grip on him, waiting for his response. And also, again, I have very short-tempered, so I get exasperated by it really fast. But I like what Kika's doing, which is like not putting up with his bullshit, but at the same time not telling him like, oh yeah, then you're really worthless and stuff. Like she's reassuring him that he actually has worth just because he's a human being. Doesn't matter like what he's done or hasn't done or whatever he thinks, but she doesn't pull up with his bullshit and be like, oh no, I'm so sorry for you. Like, she actually tells him like it is. I like that. I hope any future relationships you have are healthy and bring you happiness. Thank you. I hope that to everyone as well. I do know you have a girlfriend. I don't know if I'm assuming that is a very healthy and happy relationship. If so, keep it on. But that was a long time ago, so like it doesn't affect me anymore in a sense. Like I'm not hurting. I'm just remembering, and I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense why now that I'm having like such a triggering reaction to this. But it's fine. It was like over 8 years ago or something. It was a long time ago. I've been single ever since. It's fine. Healthy and happy, that's the main thing. Exactly.
Alright. I'll try to stay alive if you'll do something for me.
What is it?
Oh no, bribing.
Don't put yourself in danger for my sake anymore.
I mean, fair. If he really wants to survive, he will do it. If you try to forcefully save him, then we're probably gonna have more situations like this. So, in a way, fair. It's normal to care about someone else and try to like help them, but in this case, fair. Tyler is a lucky man, struggle first. My fingers curl harder around his thin arms, wishing I could argue further. But I don't know. Wait, why are his arms thin? When I see him, like, he has some muscle. That's not just a limp arm. He does something. He has some strength. Sorry, hiccups. But I don't know what's going on in his head. And I might push him back into giving up. I don't have the luxury of trying to reach him a second time. I release him and take a step back.
Fine. I'll accept those terms.
Good. Now you might survive.
You need to survive too.
Yep. He laughs.
It goes without saying.
Lou smiles decently. I hate him so much. Because he also seems like very smug about it. Well, yeah, I will prove you that it was all for nothing and I'm gonna die anyway. His attitude is still difficult for me to grasp, but I attempt to smile in return. No, hold on. I'm gonna save it here then. Yes. There we go. Thank you for caring about me, sure.
Anything to happen to anyone else.
Did I hear a bell? Did
That
I
is
change? Did
admirable.
that affect my route? Lou says nothing, however, I do feel my words reach him. I wish he knew he would let me help him, but I cannot find a way to do so. I can only trust that he will do his best to take care of himself now. It's better than him planning to let it end. True. If someone really wants to, like, be saved, they will let themselves. If not, then there's really nothing you can do about it. I sigh wearily, and yet somehow feel as though my resolve has been strengthened. At least for now.
I'm going to head out. I want to see how everything is on the island.
Quietly looking up how to be luckier. You need to eat 4 clovers every day. Touching grass now. What route are we going for? We're trying to get something out of Lou, whatever ending we might get. So him. Later on, I'm gonna try to get as many routes as I can. Or more like as many endings. But right now, I don't feel very strongly about him in the sense of like, oh, I want a good ending. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I'm tired of him. I kind of want to be like, oh, hey, let's put it on pause here, go back to Bemele's route and find something there. Because now I'm more interested in Bemele after him being like, you did everything you could. It's fine. Don't worry. It wasn't your fault. And being all softy and nice. Anyway.
I'll make it easier by coming along. Then you won't ever have to check on me.
Sure. This time I am able to smile easily.
That would be good.
Happy to help.
You should stay up front then, I feel like. He rarely moves beside me and together we move out. Lou and I head through the wooded part of the island. There isn't anything that could be called a path, but we managed to pick our way through the bush quite well. Through a thinner stand of trees, we briefly catch sight of the guide standing on one of the beaches. He seems fine, but even though I'm sure he turned his head towards me, he makes no show of acknowledging us. I wonder if there is a way to get like closer-ish to the guide. So far there hasn't been, but I wonder. We move on and eventually find Bemele in a jagged clearing, leaning against a tree. He's already noticed us and is looking our way, smiling. As we get closer, I can pick up on the sadness behind his jovial expression.
How are you faring? Any problems?
Everything is fine. We came to check on you.
I miss Margaret.
How kind. I've calmed down since then.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that. Is there any way I can help or anything
Pretty
you'd
nice
like
guy.
to say?
He raises an eyebrow at that. His grin becoming markedly
I didn't expect to see you so worried about me, Kika.
Shut up. I have to force myself not to avert my eyes at that comment, embarrassment flowing into me. Unexpectedly, Luz picks up in a soft but penetrating voice.
I think she always cared. You just didn't notice.
Oh my god, don't interfere here. Stay quiet. Stay quiet. Stay quiet. What happens between me and Bemele is our thing. For just a moment, Bemele's mouth levels into a thin line, but in a blink he's smirking again.
That could be. It makes sense.
Am I gonna have like a supposed triangle here? I don't want that. I hate love triangles. He turns his beaming face towards me, and I hesitantly return the smile, albeit a much smaller one than his. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Louis timidly smiling my way too. I hate it here. Bemele glances between Lou and I, noticing something between us. He does not mention it, however. Instead, he throws his arm out wide with a sour expression.
Have you seen the guide?
No, yeah. Bemele is clearly asking out of a sense of obligation and makes no secret that he's not pleased to be discussing the guide. I nod in response.
I saw him earlier. He is the same as always.
This is what I imagine Remy the rat looks like a human. Oh my god. I am not possessive. What I mean, oh, even my model go. What I mean by him like staying out of this is that he seems to be interfering in a way where he's like, oh, like a rivalry of sorts. Men trying to like measure who's better. So like, no, I don't like when men do that. It's stupid.
Good. In that case, I'm going to stretch my legs for a bit. I feel stiff from standing in one place for so long.
Lou and I both bid him a brief goodbye. Bemele waves as he departs. So yeah, he's entirely
It's
not
good to
an
know the
option
others
here.
are well.
We have nothing to do with our time now. Even I can't ignore the wistful tone in my voice. Something is tugging at my heart, trying to tear a piece away. Lou seems uncomfortable with my lowering mood. He stares out into the woods rather than at me.
I think I'll go to the shore.
Sure thing. His words snap me back hard to our reality.
What? Why?
I saw something earlier that I'd like to check out.
The shoreline is dangerous. Whatever you saw could not be worth the risk.
Are you going to try to get yourself caught? Lou actually laughs, a sudden sound that's as close to snickering as it is to sputtering.
Watching a Nyx drag itself across the shore in the middle of the day would be worth the danger, in my opinion.
I give him a humorless, reprimanding look. I feel vaguely like I have used this face to dissuade pets and young children from behaving poorly in the past.
I was only joking.
Thankfully, it seems to work on grown men as well. I hope he's telling the truth. For someone so nervous, he can be quite
I'm
reckless.
still going, though. Don't worry. I'll be careful. We talked about this.
He gives me a self-efficating, loop-sided smile.
You said you didn't want
Facing,
to make
sorry,
me
not
watch out
efficating.
for you.
I'll be back soon. You won't even notice.
I sigh. Part of me wants to keep lecturing him on how serious this is. I just want him to be safe, but I fear I don't have the words to convey that without making the situation worse.
Fine.
Here. No, this is from today. Hold on. This. Yes. Now load, because by the time I go back it would have already run out of time. Yes. Bemeli and I will come.
Of course you both would come.
He's smiling, but I can see the truth in his eyes. He's disappointed.
The shore is unsafe for anyone. It isn't because I do not trust you.
Thanks.
Yeah, he doesn't seem very convinced. Lou does not look any better over the reassurance. He avoids eye contact while continuing to have something of a pout on his face. Perhaps the true issue is that I included Bemeli rather than offering to go alone. Exactly, that's why I offered to go with Bemeli, because I'm like, I'm not going to do the lovey-dovey thing here. Possessive lovers can be cute, don't be too clingy though. No, possessive lovers turn into yandere sometimes. Or more like, toxic relationships. So no. Anyway, still, his interest in me causes a secretive smile to play across my lips. Lou returns my unexpected smile wholeheartedly, if not a little self-consciously.
Let's find him then.
The smile fades. That confirms my suspicion. Yep. We head into the brush, where we saw Bemeli go and find him shortly later.
Hello again.
I wave amicably while Lou stands up to my side a few steps farther back than he should to be included in the conversation. He stares at nothing in particular and keeps readjusting his position.
Were you searching for me? Or am I in the way here?
We were looking for you, but it doesn't matter anymore. I changed my mind.
About what?
Nothing.
Bemeli is confounded by the exchange, rubbing his callous fingers against the side on his face, but he is gracious enough to let it go. I am so sorry, my dude, that I'm dragging you down into this. I turned towards Lou, a bit confused myself. I am glad he decided not to do something dangerous, but I did not expect this to be such a problem for him. I feel obligated to fill the empty space left by Lou ending our plan.
We could walk around the island together. I know there's not much point, but it would be a way to spend time and clear our minds.
True. Lou looks pleasantly surprised by my suggestion.
Oh, I can agree to that.
Only then do I realize that Bemeli was doing nothing but wandering around aimlessly by himself all this time. I feel a touch of embarrassment enter into my consciousness.
Perhaps resting would be better.
Really? I'm of the mind that a relaxing walk would be good for a change.
He winks in my direction, likely having guessed the reason for my hesitation.
I still want to go.
The corners of my lips twitch up.
Then. We can do that.
Alright, let's go. Was Bemeli's voice always this deep? Yep. Yeah, his voice hasn't changed at all. It's always been like this. What the F is wrong with this dude? I don't know. I don't know what happened in his life that he's like this, but I'm like, oh man. I kind of regret saving you now. I wish it would be Margaret instead of you. More agreeable to a date with her, really. Bemeli and Lou both smile back at me. We make our way to the edge of the forest where the trees are thinner. Lou strides with a light-hearted ease that is entirely new to me. Perhaps he is pleased to be out of the forest. I am not the only one who notices the change.
Listen, I need to apologize for what I said about you before, Lou. It seems you are quite the capable young man.
Lou laughs in a slow, drown-out way. It ends almost with a sigh. He does not find the comment flattering.
Did you have to add young?
Well, how old are you?
Lou pauses momentarily, sizing Bemeli up. If I did not know Lou, I would assume he wasn't intending on being entirely honest and was instead planning on choosing a fictional age he thinks he could get away with.
22.
Oh no, he's my age.
I am 28.
Bemeli is old. But he has my mindset. He has my mindset. Baby! Bemeli seems self-satisfied with the findings, going out of his way to stand a bit taller in order to emphasize the difference between them. Leo does not seem particularly concerned with Bemeli's light-hearted boasting. He turns towards me without speaking. Curiosity is practically scrawling thick black ink across his face. He's hoping I will share my own answer to the question at hand.
I have lived for 26 years.
Oh. Okay. Lou visibly perks up at the answer. Unusually for Lou, his delicate focus remains intact even after that. He watches me contemplate. It's just like me, for real. I was like, wait. So there's not that much of an age difference, but at the same time, 4 years is a long time. He watches me contemplatively, gauging if I might be open to satiating more of his curiosity. It does not take him long to come to a conclusion.
So you're some type of guard, right? What exactly do you do?
It depends.
We're knights,
Presently,
apparently.
I'm being sent to assist a neighboring village. When I return home, I will have a completely different task. Oftentimes, I merely patrol the perimeter of the town. Fortunately, things have been quite peaceful recently, meaning most patrols are uneventful.
Good. Lou listens attentively to my every word, evidently pleased I did not brush off the question. I'm glad my answer was sufficient. I was not sure what sort of information he was looking for. Bemeli chuckles, and I feel a bit self-conscious knowing that he derives so much entertainment from me talking about myself. Either Lou is unaware of the silent exchange between Bemeli and I, or he is choosing to ignore it. He seems content enough either way, and I feel the same. I am glad they both agreed to this. For a brief moment, all of the troublesome circumstances seemed to float away from our minds, and we enjoyed each other's company. I wish it'd go on for so much longer, but it's only a while later that I have to speak up.
We really should rest before nightfall.
True. Both my companions nod in agreement. We return to the place the guide asked us to wait for him and get as comfortable as we can. Lou sits beside me, so close that his arm brushes mine. I feel comfortable seep in via the cracks of my armor, physical and mental, all from his subdued presence. The three of us quietly wait for the guide's arrival, occasionally chatting with one another as well, as we rest. Sky turns orange as sunset comes upon us. I forgot about you, my guy. As the color seems to drain from the world, being consumed by the fog, the guide makes his appearance. Lou avoids eye contact with him.
It's almost time.
I nod and feel myself grow tense. We truly are about to return to the bridges. All of us wait in an uncomfortable silence until night falls. We silently stand as one, forming a vigil of sorts. Our remaining lanterns illuminate the dark, prepare for tonight's journey. And yet, the way forward does not appear. Okay, so the bridges now are taking long to come out again. Interesting. I'm gonna skip through this dialogue because I already know what happens here. The guy goes letter turning ghostly white. He sucks in a breath of air like he's about to speak, but he hesitates. Huh.
The bridges are late. If they don't arrive as soon as...
Alright.
So we're going to waste our time standing idly by.
Time is more important. Not all.
What did he say before? I feel like it changed there. Not all will be as dangerous as the ones we've encountered thus far, however, we could easily be overwhelmed. Okay, now he's talking about the Nixie and the bridges. It's fine.
I wonder if those fires had anything to do with this.
Yeah, because... No, but when I was with Margaret, did we have to...
No.
I don't
Whatever
remember.
Magic.
Should we return to our original spot?
Staying in the center, remaining here with our land. I will not be kept on this island for another day. If the prowlers come between us and you fail to make it to the...
And he's gonna leave us
course he
behind.
would.
Yep. True, generosity is not something I would expect from the guide, but that is not the conversation we need to have at this moment. The guide has made his decision and we must make ours.
If you were staying by the shore, perhaps I could be positioned somewhat further back from you. and then the others could stay further back still. That would keep us safer. Without you could start a fire, seeing as neither of you have a lantern.
So now she suggests the fire. Okay.
Good suggestion, Kika.
Fine.
That is interesting. Settled on the matter, the three of us begin to move away from the guide. He pays little attention to us, instead silently fixing his eyes on the water. For people who don't know, when we are here with both Bemele and Margaret, we never suggest of making a fire thing. They just have Margaret's light. But I guess because neither Lou nor Bemele have a lantern anymore, it makes sense for Kika to suggest a fire instead of like Margaret accidentally breaking her lantern and then having to make one. Which I find very interesting. What if you want to cross the lake but the bridge said no? Well, if the bridge just doesn't come out, then there's no way across, because if you get into the water, immediately the Nixie are gonna get you. But at the same time, because it's nighttime, they can also get onto the island, so you're basically very much screwed if the Nixie get to you at night and the bridge decides to like not appear. The bridge book of wood piece. Very good, just burn the bridge behind you in scorched earth tactic. Underwater lights? Those are the eyes of the Nixie. Okay, yeah. After getting a sense of where they are, I turn my gaze ahead. Yeah, see, like these little lights are the eyes of the Nixie in the water. The lights in their eyes somehow seem brighter at the first of the Nixie dig their claws into the sand and begin dragging themselves up on the shore. I plant my feet firmer. With the threat rising, I decide to take one last moment to check on the others. Bemele is tending to a small flame, however I don't see Lou with him. Immediately alarmed, I raise my voice to call for him.
I'm okay.
Where are you? Before I realize that Lou is picking up from a tree. Oh, what?
I figured there's not much of a chance any Nixie will get a hold of me here. They won't climb.
I mean, true, but what about Bemele?
Let's see if you'll get down from there as smoothly as you climbed up.
Don't worry about me.
He still sounds fully self-assured. I smile to myself. I'd like to believe that Lou will truly be safe from those predatory creatures this way. Are the Nixie blind? No. With the two of them doing as well as they can be, I cautiously back up to my original position. I return my full focus to the shore. As we feared, this is becoming a pressing situation. More prowlers rose from the waters while my attention was on those two. Oh, they've surrounded the guide again. Okay. Am I gonna have to choose over this again?
Your safety is most important.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. Nixie recognized signs of
Yep, okay. So now we are going to save over this one. And we're gonna let it let him deal with it, I guess. Yep. There we go. Yeah, it's the entire same section. Hold on. Now that the guide is safe, we have to leave. Yeah, now we're getting together to get back onto the bridge. Took my lantern. Will this light alone be enough to cause them to disperse? And now he's right beside me.
Being taken into the water is the biggest threat with these creatures. While we're on the shore, we can keep enough distance to avoid it. I can help push them back.
I appreciate his confidence, but I'm still not certain his help will be worth the risk. Two is more intimidating than just one, and there are many prowlers lurking. However, physical wounds don't hurt them in the same way they do people. I could still use my lantern alone. That has been the one weapon we've wielded against them so far. My mind goes over to every point I can think of on a loop, but there isn't that kind of time to spare. I have to give an answer. I only need the light.
There's too much risk for you to come with me. I'm going now.
I turn on my heels towards the Nixie. There's even more of them now. They drag themselves pitifully along the ground, reaching out their hands in our direction like beggars. Unfortunately, nothing can be done to help these creatures. As I approach, they curl their bodies from the light of my lantern. None of them move to retreat, however. A few hiss and flail, pulling themselves into the water. One responds in a different way. They returns the aggression by lashing. Oh, I think I'm gonna die. Yep. Oh! The game closed. I died and the game closed. Is that same ending as when with Margaret when she doesn't throw the flame in time, and then I have to guide them and they manage to get onto the bridge, but I get killed. What happened to the game? Hello? Oh, hold on. It says it's already running, but I don't see it. It's not loading for me. It's not responding. Hello, game. I'm sorry I laughed at your character, okay? Just please. Huh? Quit, I guess. What happened? Hello? Computer says no. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, game, please. Alright, we're back. Good, it's opening now. Oh my god. That was odd. That was so odd. Let me close Steam now. Now, please, game capture. I beg of you. It's not even catching the music. What? No. I'm gonna have... Like a boy says. Hello. Like, the game is open. But now OBS is not capturing it. Okay, let us go to the room while I fix this, okay? Let us go to the room while I fix this. Overlay. Where is the game? Let me close it and put it up again and see if that works. Oh my god. Please, game. And once again, Lake of Voices turns into just chatting. Hold on. It's just while I make it work. Because I don't know why the thing is not capturing it. Okay, CG gallery. Ooh, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. We're only missing one on page 3. We're still missing a lot. 3, 7, 10, 11. We're still missing 11 CGs. Oh my. Why is it not capturing it? Hello? Room, please. Just chatting, yay. Anyway, you guys, how's your day been going, or whatever? Any other topic while I try to fix this? Well, I see if I can actually fix this. What is going on? Game. Game, please. What shall we chat about today? Well, have any of you watched any of the Despicable Me movies? I know it's a very random question. But I'm just curious now that I'm trying, like... Yes, of course. Which ones? All of them? I've seen them all. Excellent. Have watched all 3 and both Minions films. I want to see 4. Yes! Okay. People always look at me weird when I tell them that I want to go see 4 because I'm old, apparently. Yeah, the 4th is coming out at least over here. It's coming out this Thursday. You know what also comes out this Thursday? The Thunder Saga from Epic. And I am like so torn on what to do about that. Epic! Yes. What do you guys think about the Minion movies, by the way? If you watch them. Your Thursday is going to be amazing, yeah. It is. Make a cover, obviously. I mean, spoiler, I already have like a short-ish cover of Thunderbringer that I have yet to edit because we have like a little snippet of the instrumental from a long time ago, and so a teaser came out about it and I was like, I need to sing this, and so I did. Now I just need to edit it. I think Minions 1 was great and Minions 2 even better. How? It isn't even out yet. See, when I told you that Jorge releases snippets of songs, I mean it. Like, he has released a bunch of snippets of almost all the songs, except for songs 21 and 22, which are the first 2 songs of the Thunder Saga. And so we have like very small pieces of certain songs out there in the world that are not finished yet. And so there was, when he did the casting for a lot of characters, what he would do was that he would like first upload like the demo version of himself, like of him singing the parts, and then he would release like only the instrumental of that section and be like, hey, you can sing to this on TikTok, and I will. He would do auditions like that. For Zeus, I don't think he had like auditions at the time because he found Jesus pretty early on, I think, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But the point is that there was an instrumental section of Thunderbringer available for people to just do. So that's why we have like that little snippet of it, that it's the same snippet that now he released as a teaser for the Thunder Saga that comes out on Thursday. So yeah. Guys, I can't open. I can't make the thing catch the game. I don't know why. Let me just try to get a new display and see if I can if it works like that. Hold on. I don't know why this is happening. I really don't know what happened. It just closed. It wasn't even that I misclicked anything. It just closed on me, and I was like, what? Huh? And in this game is not even like heavy, you know, like graphic heavy or anything like that. So I don't know why. I don't know why that happened. But yeah, but that's why we have like a snippet of Thunderbringer, and so I got the little snippet, and I recorded something that I need to edit and then put out before it releases. And as soon as I get like as we get the saga and instrumentals, I will make decisions on what to cover and see if I have the time before next week. I only saw Minions 1. I haven't seen 2, but I can't remember. I might have seen 2, but I can't remember. Minions 2 had that B-Link leak that grew in the Minions stole from. She tries to start up Omori. Omori usually starts up right away, actually, which is surprising because that is graphically a little bit heavier than everything else, but League of Voices should be fine. I don't know why the thing closed on me. It says it's launching now, but I don't know if it's actually doing it. 4 Omori streams in a row? I don't think it. If anything, maybe this will turn into, if this doesn't work for some reason, This will probably turn into a just chatting stream, because it's already been 2 hours, and so it's a little too late to bring up a Mori. If it had been after the hour, then probably I would have been more amenable to do that, but unfortunately, I don't think we will continue with the Mori today. It'll probably be until tomorrow. Sag, yes, I know. Hurts. So yeah, Minions 2 is about Gru as a kid wanting to join the Villain League, and then he ends up like making enemies with them for some reason. I don't properly remember. I asked because I do like the first Minions a lot, but the second one, maybe it's because it took such a long time to come out due to the Panini, but for those of you who don't know, I call the pandemic the Panini. So I remember when I watched it, I liked it, but I kind of had expected more of it. Oh yeah, he steals something from them and they get ingy. I just remember the nunchuck. That was fun. Oh my god. Grew as a kid, I might have seen it then. Yeah, it's the second Minions movie. It's him as a kid and after, you know how at the end of the first Minions they find him and make him their boss? Well, this is now like him with them as his minions, and doing evil things, like stealing from villains for himself. No, it's not a picture that I want to capture. Game capture. Where is game capture? There we go. Game capture. And a specific. Where is Lake of Voices? Here's Lake of Voices. Let's leave it like this. Oh, it's something happened here. Hold on. What is this? Oh my god, what is this? Game capture, where are you? Huh. Then window capture, maybe? Yeah, window capture works. For some reason, game capture is just not working right now. Oh, now it's in front of my face. Hold on. Over the overlay. There we go. And now we adjust things. It has to be under the overlay now that I think about it. There we go. And now adjust it. There it is. Perfect. It worked! You guys probably not gonna be able to hear it though. Audio capture. Where's the audio capture? Oh. Where's the audio capture? What? Oh, there we go. Yeah, Lake of Voices. I don't know if it's capturing it, but let's see. Small Bean Group. I like how universal the Despicable Me series though. Everyone knows that a minion is what a minion is, and I think 4 will be promising. You want a little fun story before we get back for a little bit to Lake of Voices? Tyler, you're my favorite person in the entire universe now. You're my favorite person in the entire universe now. I did manage to make the game work, by the way. I'm just like stalling here because now I'm too invested in the Despicable Me talk. Tyler, Despicable Me 2 is my favorite movie as well. I love it. I think I think Lucy Wilde was like my first proper fictional crush. It awakened something. Is that the purple one? Yeah, it's where the minions turn purple And the villain is Mexican now that I think about it. That's no way it's my favorite though. Every time I see that I'm like, I don't know if I find this extremely funny or slightly offensive. I can't blame Yulama, right? She's so badass. I love her so much. I've always wanted to try the tortilla hat. Oh, the nacho hat. Yeah, I think there's actually a tutorial on YouTube on how to do it. There's someone who did it, and it was great. And I'm like, I want that. I want my hat full of guacamole made of tortilla chip. Yum. Introducing a sophisticated villain while stripping her of his biggest strength, his minions, right? I think, like, I like the minions, but I think sometimes they're a little overused. Because of course they sell well. And so they can get a little bit annoying sometimes if like they overuse them. But that one had like the perfect balance, I feel. For me at least. I like binging with Babish, makes food for shows and movies all the time. I'm sure she did it. He did it, probably, yeah. I never watched it, but I just can't remember it that well. I remember them getting sucked up in an ice cream truck. Oh yeah. That's before they take him to the island. Also, Vector was okay as a villain, but El Macho actually had motives and knew that. Yeah, El Macho was a good villain. I don't like that he represents our culture, but he was a good villain. The funny part about the secret dance to the lair being La Cucaracha is priceless to me. But yeah, Despicable Me 2 is my favorite Despicable Me movie. And it is actually the story that I was gonna go that I was gonna tell wasn't that I had the biggest crush on Lucy Wilde, still kind of do. It wasn't that. It was that it was thank you, Tyler. It was that oh, of course, my undiagnosed ADHD kicked in, and I have beef. I have beef now. Guys, does any of you actually celebrate Cinco de Mayo? Despicable Me 2 has major historical. It's just that it always has. It's just no one knows because I never talk about it. I actually bought a super overpriced McDonald's toy of Lucy on her motorbike that appears in or aqua bike that appears on Despicable Me 3. That it was totally overpriced because it probably wasn't worth that. Like you had to buy a Happy Meal in order to get her, but I was already too old to get a Happy Meal, and so my parents were like, absolutely not. We're not gonna spend money on that just because you want a toy. And I was like, dang it. And so I found it at a convention, and I was like, I don't care how much is it, I'm gonna buy it because it's the only piece of merchandise that I can find about Lucy. You're welcome to start a Despicable Me fan club channel on the Discord. Yes! Like, yes! Anyway, so yeah, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, I guess. Do you guys know about May 5th? Cinco de Mayo. Hakuna Matata. Anyway, oh sorry, I was checking on something. I remembered about Cinco de Mayo because it's actually, this is Leola, write it down. Because they celebrate it in the movie. Like they're like, oh yeah, come to my Cinco de Mayo party and stuff. El Macho is because that's where he captures Lucy and all of that, and where the lair is and all of that. I remember that because if you guys don't know, that is apparently like a celebration. Yeah, May 5th. We remember being remember being from Germany, freed from Germany on that day. Oh, well, in Mexican culture, here's why I have beef with this. Americans, or for the most part at least, it's in the US where the celebration happens every year, Cinco de Mayo, and it's showed as a Mexican celebration. That even a lot of people confuse it with our Independence Day, which is not. We don't celebrate Independence Day on May 5th. And they make big parties, and then they're like, oh yeah, let's appreciate Mexican culture that day, blah 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 blah. And apparently there are people who do big parties for Cinco de Mayo and all of that. Like in the movie, we don't actually do that here. If you come to this country, you won't see anyone celebrating Cinco de Mayo. We don't do party because of that. At all. Cinco de Mayo was a battle that we won against the French in Puebla, which is another state. And they're the only ones that sometimes like they make maybe sales for that day in order to like commemorate it, but the most we get is like maybe a day of school, and that's pretty much it in order to commemorate the day. But that's it. I don't know why in the US it's made like such a big deal about it, around it, when in reality it's not. So and they're like, oh yeah, I think Hannah explained it to me once. I was like, they're probably like, oh yeah, we're glad that you guys beat the French for us. We must celebrate on the server now. No, I have so much beef. I get angry when I see people like companies being like, oh yeah, Cinco de Mayo, and I'm like, do you guys do know that we don't actually celebrate that? That we actually don't. But you beat the French. I don't care. It's good because they wanted to take over our territory probably, and that way they would have like they would be a step closer to getting to the US, and that's why Americans were like, thank you for beating the French for us. But it's really not a big deal, at least nowadays. What's Mexico like for foreigners? I want to explore the world. Oh! I think I accidentally deleted your message. No, okay, there it is. I got scared because something popped up and I was like, oh no, I can't see the message anymore. There it is. I want to explore the world throughout my life, but have no idea what it's like. Color would be ecstatic. Oh god, no. I actually don't know. I only know like a couple of things from what people outside tell me sometimes. But I don't really know exactly what the idea of Mexico is to foreigners, if I'm being quite honest. Other than the Cinco de Mayo thing, I really don't know. That's the only one that I'm like, and I remember it because it's a thing in the movie, and even when I was a kid, I remember telling my parents like, why are they celebrating? What is so important about Cinco de Mayo? And they were like, oh, they think it's also our Independence Day, but it's just, you know, it's not a thing here. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was that. And I remember because this year I saw the official Ladybug like page celebrate it and be like, oh, happy Cinco de Mayo, let's embrace Mexican culture, blah blah blah. And I'm like, and they're French, and I'm like, huh? What do you mean? I want to go to Japan at some point, but their society isn't used to foreigners. As long as you're, from what I've heard, as long as you're like a tourist, they're kind of more okay-ish with you. Like when you live there is when they get like a little bit of whiplash, but they're usually very happy to share their culture with you. I think it's mostly like very, very, very old people that might be a little iffy towards foreigners. But when you're a tourist, I think most of them, from what I've heard from different sources, are very happy to show you their culture, and they like it when foreigners actually like make the effort to learn about it, especially the language. That's why the whole Nihongo Jousu meme. to be fair, Japan had been, but yeah, exactly, it makes sense because they were locked away for a very long time, so it's still kind of newish to them, and thus makes sense why older people are the ones that are like more iffy towards foreigners. But yeah, I feel like you can wish people a good time for their cultural celebrations, but celebrating them without knowing much about it is weird. Yeah, that's why I'm like, when they try to be like, oh, very inclusive about it, and I'm like, but you don't actually know that in the actual country that's not really a thing, right? Like, trying to shine a little bit of a light on it, it's like, okay, sure, and be like, yeah, let's be glad about this, but kind of like when it feels like they're trying to get into like the groove, it's like, okay, my guy, you know that's not a thing, right? But anyway, it's not actually that big of a deal. I'm just like, I've always been like a little bothered by it, not in the more like amused, not bothered, more like amused, but like, what perception, why is this perception there? To train, but also to experience the culture. Japanese people have made some awesome stuff I adore, so meeting those people would be a small chance. Yeah, it would be pretty cool. Ooh, being fluent in Japanese is hard. It's hard. I've been trying. I barely know my hiragana from memory now. Katakana is something we don't talk about, and kanji even less. I only know like 2 kanji. I need to learn more. But yeah. You guys do know about the Nihongo Jousu meme, right? I know I probably already explained it to Confused before, because I mentioned it in the server once. Nihongo Jousu. Probably you know, Tyler, because you are more like involved. I feel like, I don't know, based on our conversations. I leave the alphabets until last, but I want to be able to communicate verbally with Japanese people. 0 kanji real sentences, alright? Sounds familiar. So Nihongo Jousu is what Japanese people usually tell you when you're a foreigner and talk to them in Japanese. And the meme is that no matter how good or bad it is, they will tell you that because they are happy that you are trying to like learn their language. And so Nihongo Jousu is like translated, it's like, oh, your Japanese is so good. And so that's the meme. That's the meme that is like, oh yeah, you have very good Japanese, but it doesn't matter like what your level is, they will tell you that, supposedly. Like, oh, Nihongo Jousu, you know? So why am I saying this? Because I've actually gotten Spanish Josu'd. I've actually gotten Spanish Josu'd before on the internet. It's the same thing as Enki speaking Dutch once out of nowhere. It was great, right? Hello, HKLDRK, welcome. I remember that, yeah. So I have been like told, oh, your Spanish is very good, and I'm like, and I even got told once like, oh, and it's getting better, and I was like, thank you. Like, thank you. Although, you know, it's my first language, so you know. but thank you. And it was so funny to me. Like, I wasn't offended. I was just like baffled that people actually thought it was my second language, and I was like, oh, I don't know what this means for myself, but I'll take it. Back to Despicable Me 2 though, before we end this tangent. And it relates to this because that movie is actually the reason why I started like seriously learning English. It is thanks to that movie that I am here today. No joke. That movie is the reason why I am here today. Before it, I used to like really not like English class. I felt like I didn't understand much, even though I did pretty decently at school. That is part of the IRL Leo lore, I guess. So yeah, it's that movie, the reason why I'm here today, because I watched it in the cinema in Spanish, of course, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. And so I looked it up online because I wanted to watch it again, but I couldn't go watch it at the cinema again because money. And so I looked it up. I found it, but I've only found it in English. And also I started looking for pictures because I shipped Guru and Lucy so hard. That was my first like ship as well, of like, oh, I am so invested in this relationship. And so I started looking pictures online, and I started finding fan art, and that led me to Tumblr. And back then, Tumblr was not in Spanish. Tumblr was only in English. And so I had to learn in order to like properly be able to tell what was going on in the site. And I used to they have a child now. I don't know how I feel about that. Children make me weird, but they make me feel weird. So I guess I'll have to gauge how I feel about it during the movie. But like, it's sweet, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. Is this your story when you were little? Yes, kind of. I wasn't so little anymore. I was already like in my preteens, but anyway, the point is that I found Tumblr, and then that's that's how I started learning English, because then I also through Tumblr discovered fan fiction, and I was like, oh, I want to understand the silly words that people are putting here. I don't know what this is. And that's how I started learning English. And then Frozen came into my life through Tumblr as well, and here I am. But the big like start off point was Despicable Me 2. Yeah. So, if you were ever wondering, I could probably get more in depth about that story later on when we have a proper Just Chatting stream. But AO3 is a compelling reason to learn English. I love fanfic. Back then, I don't know if it probably already existed, but back then I didn't know about AO3. Back then I read on Tumblr. I ended up reading fanfiction on DeviantArt. And I also read on fanfiction.net. Then later on, like a couple of years later, I found Wattpad, and I found some decent stuff back then. Nowadays, but now I'm completely married to AO3. It's great. Yes, there was Despicable Me fanfiction. I also got introduced to something that to a side of fanfiction that I probably shouldn't have back then, but oh my god. But yeah, fanfiction was the reason why I started to learn English properly. Like, I wanted to understand, and I was like, oh, nice. And yeah, that was pretty much it. But yeah, there's Despicable Me fanfiction. It's weird. It's very weird. Don't look it up. Fanfiction makes people grow up faster than you tell people. Then probably, yeah. 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 But anyway, let's get back real quick into the game before we turn this into 3 hours, and now I am like not able to continue because I do want to at least get some of the endings. So, back into League of Voices. We can talk more about fanfiction probably next week. I'll have a Just Chatting stream next week, so yeah. And I've probably already seen 4 by then, so, or at least I hope so, because my friend hasn't really confirmed if we're gonna go watch it or not, and I need to find someone because I can't go by myself because it's dangerous. Wait, is that? Oh yeah, that's the music of the game. Perfect. Now let me just turn it down a little bit. How's the audio of the game, by the way, guys? Anyway, so Since we died in the lose route, I want to get back into it, but I kind of want to try and get the some other endings first. So I have pulled up a guide in order to get them. So we're gonna be skipping through the main section of the game, and we can either start with Lou, Margaret, or Bemeli. I'm gonna let you guys choose on this because I am very biased. And I think Lou's route is the longest from what I was able to see. And Margaret's and Bemeli's are like easier-ish. Now, while I do that, I don't know if I can make a poll here. Hold on. Save best for last. Lou, Margaret, Bemeli. What is well? Okay, perfectly. Perfect, that's the word I was looking for. Why am I speaking so weirdly today? English is hard, apparently. Hold on, let me just... It's taking a little bit to load this thing, like YouTube Studio, because internet is getting sucked up by the stream. But I should be able to make a poll here. Menu. Hold on, refresh page. No. This is not where I make the polls. English isn't Englishing, exactly. And sometimes Spanish doesn't Spanish-ing either. And then you become bilingual because you forget both languages. Hold on. There we go. I also started learning at some point a little bit of Indonesian, but I haven't kept up with my studies. I probably should though. I've already forgotten even the colors, dang. I'm like trying to remember words and I'm like, I don't remember. I probably should really keep up with my studies on that. Hold on, there's almost there. I can make the poll. There we go. Okay. Extra option. Melee. Lou or Margaret. Oh, that's not how you are right, Margaret. Page route. Sorry, there we go. Should be up there soonish. I don't know if the poll is there. I don't see it, and it's not loading. Probably didn't. Well, dang. I guess you guys can tell me, like, properly. Or I can see it at least. Was Dora the Explorer a common cartoon for you growing up? Yes. Actually, yes. The Dino spin-off with Diego? It wasn't a dino? No. Was it? I have it the poll. Okay. I don't know how to end it though. And I can't see it. It's not loading for me. Where is the poll? YouTube. Onegai. And now Leica Voice is not registering again. Great, that's awesome. There we go. Oh god. The poll is a mess, apparently. Hold on. Let me open the door for my double. Now it's getting hot again. I need to take my blanket off. Oh wait, where are you? Oh, there you are. What are you doing, buddy? Where is your... Oh. I have 100% seen one with dinos in it. Can you guys tell me what the poll says? Because I don't see it. If you have the poll. Because I'm not seeing it. unfortunately, and I don't know how to end it because I can't see it. Why is YouTube Studio so weird? What's up, buddy? Oh, hold on, let me get 2 bullets for Lou. That's it. Okay, so we do Lou first then. That's enough for me. Hold on, let me just get the blankie for my doggo. In that case, we can probably just start up for well, let me just check the guide in a second. Let me put the BRB screen just while I get my doggo his blanket, and I'll BRB. Alright? There we go. I'm back. So if Lou is the winner, then we can probably just load from one of the last places we saved. Let me just check up the guide real quick, because he has a lot of things on his route apparently. So let us start from the beginning then. Are you good, buddy? What's going on? Lulu is the Lulu. Okay, so start. Then I'm gonna skip through the entire introduction. And this time, instead of flattering Bemele, we're gonna tell Margaret, oh, you're very well informed, Margaret. You're quite informed, Margaret.
It's been years since the time of Garvin the Exemplar. It's impressive you knew.
And she blushes, huh? Are we sure this is Lou's route? Lulu, not the crazy bird lady again. Wait. What crazy bird lady? What are you talking about? Margaret smiles, lifting her chin into the air. The over-exaggerated action is somehow pleasant rather than belittling. She's so much happier than I had anticipated.
Yes, I do like to stay informed. And you knew too. Good. This lake shouldn't be allowed to swallow even history itself.
My town, the one where I was
Oh,
born,
we're getting
at least,
backstory on Kika, huh?
was also Garvin's hometown. I was very young when he passed. The entire village went into mourning.
Interesting.
People
By the way,
broke
if you
down
don't
crying
remember,
in the
Garvin
streets.
is apparently
I'll never forget it.
the father
He meant
of the guide,
much to everyone
and
who knew
he
him.
never recognized him as his son, so he's basically like a bastard. And Bemele made a joke about it, and so they Margaret like scolded him a little because of that.
Oh, I have no such connections. I merely read about it.
She pauses, seeming to scan the air in front of her for something to say.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's all right. Thank you.
My John may have taken pride in Garvin, the exemplar, and what he achieved, but we weren't the ones who lost the most. That would be his family. Alright, and so we can skip through this now. And now the guide appears and is like, I can take
I believe you.
all the 3 of you, but one of you will die. Woo! And now, really, we should go. Alright, and I admire her resilience. What did she say? Because dialogue stops when it changes from what we've usually had. I'm not afraid to be out here, though. Still, at least with your training, you should be able to take care of yourselves. Alright, I admire her resilience. It's comforting to know that everyone here is so confident in their abilities. Not enough to forget how terrible it feels to be over this lake. I am not sure if that is fortunate or unfortunate. Believing yourself to be secure doesn't mean that you are. Alright. There are the Nixie, and there's one behind Bemele. And now I nod seriously because we're not trying to get him. And then pull Bemele forward because if not he dies. And kick it off. And then wait, what's the next decision? The current format has worked so far.
So you're staying behind?
Yes. And then we let the timer run out. We encourage Margaret to keep going behind the guide. And then we find Lou. And then put a hand on to stop him, which is how we get into his section. Margaret watches Bemele approaching her, gaze flickering from him to me. Then suddenly she rushes back. Oh, because we favored Margaret at the beginning. It's now it's Margaret the one who's like, please be careful, and having like very heartfelt interactions with us instead of Bemele. Interesting. Margaret flings herself into me, wrapping me up in a hug as crushing as her small shivering frame can muster.
Thank you for not leaving me behind either.
Oh, well that's nice. Then she pulls away, turning around without seeing my reaction. The scent of lavender hangs in the air, though I can't tell whether from her hair or her clothes. Alright.
Watch out for yourself too, not just for everyone else.
Yep.
I will.
Will do, ma'am. I'm devastated. My pasta was cooked in the part that wasn't fully rinsed out before. Oh no! No! And tortellini is always delicious, but it's ruined. No! That sucks. I'm so sorry, Tyler. If it makes you feel any better, I once ate toast with soap. Because apparently the pan had soap on it, and I didn't notice. And I did my toast there with my butter and everything, and it was great. And then I munched onto it, and I was like, it tastes kind of funny. And then suddenly the flavor of the soap for the dishes hit me all at once, and I was like, oh, and I had to puke. So yeah. Not even the perfect lasagna I made yesterday will redeem me in these days in the eyes of Italians. No! Lasagna is so good though. I wish I could have it more often. Oh. You wouldn't look at anyone like that. Okay, shut up. No. I will stay. Oh my god, you will stay for me? No, you shouldn't. And what do I have to say now? You're important as well. Alright. And then our first save, supposedly, it's when before we have the talk with him on the island. Is she gonna die? Please tell me she's not gonna die. Oh, because I favored Margaret and immediately I run to her side. No, wait. Or did I accidentally not see? Well, at least I saw last time what happened when they saved Bemele, but the guy doesn't say. I didn't miss like an option, did I? You're a criminal for the Italians. Like, did I? I didn't miss an option, right? It didn't let me choose between Bemele and Margaret this time. I'm trying to like rewind the stream to see, but I can't find the proper place. Okay, there it is. And then yeah, no, it doesn't let me choose. It just goes straight to Margaret. Dang it. Poor Bemele. Margaret's head shoots up, eyes squinting through the smoke. Tears like ribbons gleam down her face, whether they're because of smoke or panic, I don't know. I'm nearly at her side when a shout goes up from the other end of the bridge. Bemele, no! Bemele is backing away from them, but that's only pushing him closer to the— No! Bemele. Check on Margaret again. She's on her feet and heading over to me, but she's standing now and she has her lantern to keep those monsters at bay. I leave her, running to get my light to Bemele. Bemele stopped in the perfect center of the bridge, unable to move forward or back. Instead, he turns to me, face pained in a way I've never seen from him. All he can do is wait for me to come and hope it's soon enough. But as I approach, so does an Ix larger than I knew they could be. It pulls itself halfway out of the water, reaching for a mouth. No! Now we get to see his gruesome death. And it grabs him. It latches its arms around his torso. Bemele lets out an agonized scream, and Ix's claws anchoring into his flesh, and the creature lets itself fall into the lake, using its body weight to take Bemele with it. I run faster, reaching my lantern out to him, but Bemele doesn't reach back. He just looks at me.
Don't!
Gosh darn it. He falls backwards into the lake. The Ix weighed too much for him to resist. After a moment, the water stills. There's no sign of him. I stop, panting, still feet away from where Bemele fell. Tears were in my eyes.
No, he can't be gone.
He is, Kika. We have to move forward now. My heart is heavy, but we have to move forward. This is not his route. Oh, I opened something else, sorry. Something tugs on my arm. I panic, but it's Margaret. I gape at her. I can barely keep myself together.
What happened to the guide? Is he also?
No, he's not. My voice cracks in spite of myself. I don't know what I want to hear. I don't know that I want to hear the answer. It's raining very heavily now. But it has to be said.
No, I don't think so. I couldn't
It's
see
a
through
terrible
the smoke
day
and
for rain
without
indeed.
my glasses. But I didn't hear anything.
How did this happen?
While we were running through the fire, the bridge shook. It knocked my glasses off. I bent down to pick them up. There were footsteps.
Yeah, he
Someone
left you
kept
behind.
going, and then Bemele asked if I was all right.
It's okay. The Italians pulling me into the void is inevitable. I thought maybe I could stomach it, but it only tastes like soap. Yeah, no, if it tastes like soap, you don't eat it. Don't eat it. It's bad. It's really bad. No, don't. Actually, don't. Puke it. Puke it. It's not worth it. Trust me. I know. Cutting is spaghetti. What? Or I could rinse everything for a few seconds longer than normally to ensure no soap is left on while it's drying. Yeah, try that, and if it doesn't work, then just throw it away. Okay, perfect. I'm like, don't force yourself to eat it. It's bad. Trust me. I know. I would know. Because I tried that with my toast, and it's just no. I had to go puke it. Anyway, while we were running through the fire, the bridge shook. I knocked my glasses off. I bent down to pick them up. There were footsteps. Someone kept going, and then Bemele asked if I was alright. I don't know if that's a proper English accent, but Margaret has one, so I'm trying to do it. Soapy toast is for those with a refined taste. No. You know what happened once as well? Do you guys know how like French toast is just basically like a piece of toast drenched in like sugar, and I don't know if it has syrup on it, but it has like something that makes it like, or I think it's just like the sugar melted onto the thing, right? My mom once confused the sugar for pepper, and she gave me one, and it just tasted very, very weird. Diabetes toast, yes. I don't know how that's pronounced, confused, but maybe that's it. But my mom got, I don't know how she got distracted and put like, and got confused and put like, instead of sugar, she put pepper. And when I tried that, it was like, that doesn't taste very good, but I will finish it. And then she put sugar on it to like compensate. And I was like, I don't think that's gonna make it better, Mom, but sure. Anyway, the tears returned to her, and she wipes her nose on her sleeve.
He said he'd stay to keep watch while I couldn't see.
That sounds like Bemele.
I'm so sorry.
She tentatively touches my arm, wanting to help me, but not knowing how. I don't say anything in response. I can't. The bridge trembles again, and I gather my wits just enough to get through this.
We need to leave. Which way did the guide go?
Okay.
It sounded like he just went forward, and then I couldn't hear him anymore.
Alright.
That will work.
Yep, wait, you just need to hurry, and now. Yeah, the death. We yank him. We're lost. And then the whistle.
It came from the right.
We should go right.
Yep. And now we're back at the island. Beside me, Margaret and Lou are still fast asleep. Man. They begin to stare. Oh my god. Margaret accidentally knocks Lou as she gets up, awakening him as well.
Hello.
Hello to you. Don't give me that look. Ma'am, this is not your route. Wait for your turn. Margaret greets me as she rubs her eyes. It seems due to be due to trouble adjusting to not having her glasses rather than grogginess. Behind her, Lou remains on the ground.
We should eat some. I don't trust what is on this island.
Yep.
I admit, for a trip of this length, I could only manage to carry the minimum, so I don't have much to share. However, you shouldn't be the only one who gives something up.
True.
Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
I'm now hungry. I'm gonna die. And the pronunciation of Dutch is really weird in comparison to English. Hold on. What the Vente? Is it like similar-ish to German? Because I kind of know-ish how to pronounce German, but not quite. Hold up, let me pull up Google Translate. Yes. Oh yeah, it is French toast. But what? Ventel Davish? Forget it, I don't know how to pronounce Dutch. Ventel Davish? Something like that. Yes, it's the same. Ventil something then. The US entering the void. The translation instead of doesn't give the literal translations. It just said French toast. I don't know what the literal translation is, but you're not doing too bad. You nailed the first part. It's the only part that I understand because like ventil and then something. The last part I don't quite grasp how to pronounce. But anyway.
You won't make it very far if you don't have something to eat.
Oh yeah, and he's
No,
like
thanks.
trying to like.
I wonder when the last time he ate even was. Considering where we found him, he could have been out over Sinlos for more than a day. Yet he has nothing with him.
Well, technically he couldn't have, in a way, because if the bridge sinks, then he would be a goner.
I'm concerned about that as well. But I know it can be difficult to force yourself to eat after something traumatic, and I'm afraid I'm not very skilled at encouraging others.
There's a stinging sensation inside of me. That was not something I ever needed to do because he was there. Margaret and I both frowned. True. And there's the guide.
The Nixie will not tread on land in daylight. Before the sun sets, I will...
Yep.
done just what needs to be done over in those woods that cannot be done in the brush here with the rest of us.
And then he goes,
Are you alright?
No, I'm not. Nothing.
yeah, and it's the same dialogue she says every time. Before it can spill out of her, she turns on her heels and walks off in a direction different than the guides. I don't try to stop her. Lou meekly calls to me. I turn around to face him, though I don't speak. He's standing some distance away. He fidgets and glances over to the side before turning his gaze to my eyes. He gestures for me to come closer. I comply.
I'm sorry for what happened last night.
Yeah, this is the same dialogue. I don't know why it's not letting me skip, but...
You would have been better off without me.
It's
yeah,
not...
blah, 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 blah.
It was closer to being my fault than anyone else's. I never should have stayed.
Yeah, self-pity, woo! Finishing his thought, his nipples as he turns away. Alright. Instead of seeing Margaret, I need to... Where is the decision? The decision. I'm gonna put it here. Yes. Now load. And we say, apparently, Lou wait again.
Would you...
I could do...
Oh, it's not letting me skip. Oh, there we go. I was like, it's not letting me skip the conversation, but we already had this conversation. Now. Thank you for caring about me.
I know you don't want anything to happen to anyone else.
There we go. And so we skip, and then the next choice will be our next save. Saves are important in this part because that's how we are gonna get like through the different sections when we need to. Although, I need to know. I'm not gonna need save 5 because I already have panic. I have guard on save 4, so we don't need that. We're gonna need save 3 and 6 and 7. I already have, so we don't need to do a save 2 then. Alright. I need save 1. I need save 3. And then save 6 and 7. Interesting. Okay. There we go. So we're gonna skip the save 2. I'm just gonna like keep going. Oh, unfortunately I should be making my way up to bed now. I need to sleep well since school drains all my energy, so good night, sleep well, and have sweet dreams when you all you well go to bed. Thank you for the fun stream, Leo. Who would have guessed you like Despicable Me so much? Oh, you have no idea. But thank you for stopping by, Tyler. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Thank you. I'm starting to think that maybe we won't be able to get through everything today because Lou's route is gonna take forever. But I'll see if I can maybe manage something next week. We'll see. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for stopping by, Tyler. Alright, Confused. I'm gonna be wrapping up soonish as well because it's almost been 3 hours and I don't think we're gonna get through it, so it's fine. I was actually thinking about it because it unfortunately that sudden crash took a lot of time away and then the sudden just chatting, so yeah. For Omori stream tomorrow we'll have to see, but Wednesday and Thursday definitely. Alrighty. Okay. Now I'm just gonna finish like this section, or I guess this could probably be a good place to end it because I also need to work on a lot of things channel related. If you guys are still here, I guess it'd be a good time now to make the small announcement. I'm gonna be repeating it every day until Thursday, so anyway. But small announcement. I am going to be away for like a week and a half. It's starting next week. So that's why I schedule in a bunch of streams this week, because I want to make the most of it before I have to be away. I have some business to take care of far away, so that's why. And I'm not gonna be here. So don't worry, you're not gonna be left without content. I have lots of things planned, which is why I'm gonna try not to like keep too long here on the streams, but you know me, I never quite adhere to that. I said that today I was gonna do 2 hours, and it's almost 3, so you know. But yeah, it's nothing serious. I just need to take care of some things, but unfortunately it's gonna take me away from my place, so I'm gonna be away for a little bit. I'll tell you guys more about it maybe tomorrow, but yeah. So that's why I'm like a little hesitant. That's why I wanted to finish it today, but unfortunately couldn't be. So I'm gonna leave it here. I know it's a bit of a weird place to leave it, but it is gonna take us a very long time to get to like properly into loose route, I feel. So yeah. So with that, thanks so much for coming, thanks so much for being here and giving me a couple of your hours. I hope you had fun. I certainly did. It was a very interesting conversation. And I really like this game. I'm very I don't like Lou, but I like the game. So I'm very interested in seeing where his side of the story will take us. So yeah. And with that, I will see you tomorrow with a Mori. Alright? Anyway guys, bye bye. Ending screen before I yap too long. Thank you for stopping by, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow with more Mori, and hopefully I will continue this soon. But yeah. Anyway, bye bye.